Hi there, I'm Terry Pappy. Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you about sales on LinkedIn. Now, something happened where I had an engagement with a new prospect. An engagement, what I mean is like an interaction is probably a better word. And the way it went down is really interesting because it showed me that using a system to get people into your funnel, so to speak, is helpful to a point. So all of us are trying to create scale through automation, through creating systems, and those are really important things, especially when you're working with a team that may be outsourced, having documentation so they know what they're doing. I mean, all these things are really good to have in place for processes, for consistency, and to make sure that you're keeping your pipeline full over time. However, sometimes the automation can take the humanness out of the interaction that you're having with new prospects. And I had an experience on LinkedIn recently that prompted me doing this video. So there was a lot of good that came out of it. And I learned a lot as well. So I am always looking to be of service to people and to build relationships. That's just kind of in my DNA. It's how I function, how I operate. In many cases, it's not the most efficient way. I do use automation when it makes sense, but I'm more interested in getting to know people and really understand what they're trying to accomplish, and just through interactions, trying to provide value as best I can. So how people come to me is where the automation comes in. So you're posting social media things, you're writing blog posts and automating things like that. So that's another video. But what I want to talk to you today is about this one interaction that I had on LinkedIn that I thought was really enlightening. So I had been following this one woman on LinkedIn, and we weren't connected yet. And I kept seeing her videos and her posts, and I was like, I really kind of like this chick. I like what she's talking about. I kind of learned some things from the content she was sharing, and I checked. I'm like, are we even linked? I want to make sure that she's in my network and that we're seeing each other and connected on LinkedIn. And so I went and I realized that the connect button was there, not the message button. So I knew we were not connected yet. So I clicked connect, introduced myself, and I said something along the lines, not your typical LinkedIn, like, I think we should connect. I shared with her what I enjoyed about her videos, and that I really appreciated her content, and that I thought we should have been, I was surprised to find out that we weren't already connected. Would love to talk to you sometime. And that was that. That's all I put in there, right? And so she connected with me back, and she wrote back, and she gave me a little bit of feedback following up my question or my comment. And then she went right into the sales pitch. So it's almost like she took her templated LinkedIn response and like cut and pasted it right in there underneath the personalized thing. And so what ensued was this kind of back and forth where I was really just trying to get to know her, and she was trying to find the right way to insert me into her funnel. So she invited me to join her group, on Facebook, and this, that, and the other. And I went and did those things, right? I'm like, well, I like her content on LinkedIn. I'm sure I'll like her stuff on Facebook. And so the next thing you know, she said something about one of the things was to answer a question in the Facebook group about like your business and what's your biggest challenge, which is the top of her funnel. So what she does is she takes that information and then she puts you into her funnel, which basically goes through this series of communications that that look on the surface like they're customized, and they're not. So I kind of felt like I was a little manipulated. Like, I don't know, it just felt disingenuous to me. I saw it was very obvious what she was doing. And I mean, I get it. You never know what a prospect will yield. And that's why I like spending a little bit of real time to actually get to know people, because you never know where it's going to lead. And that's why I'm such a proponent on relationship building as opposed to manipulation or coercion or pitching too early. and or pitching at all for that matter. I mean, if they like what you're about, if they like what you're saying, they're going to want to work with you in some capacity, or they're going to want to refer people to you because they just think you're cool and they think you're an expert and they think you bring value. So remember, it's like we're human beings and we have to have that kind of like factor going on. You know, they always say no, like, trust. Well, it's really important. And a lot of people forget that and they get caught up in technology. Sorry, I'm going off on a rant. So anyway, I ended up kind of pulling on the string and just following this. And at one point in the back and forth, I kind of called her out and I'm like, all right, let me just raise my hand and say, you know, I'm happy to be connected. I like your stuff. However, I feel like you're pitching me. I'd love to talk to you, but I don't want to get into one of your programs, or that's not why I wanted to connect with you. I don't even know if I'm a fit for your product anyway. And what was funny was she got kind of snarky with me. And I started to see a side of this person that I was like, I don't know if I really want to deal with this person. So it was not a great way to get to know their, I don't know, I don't want to say true colors, but it was so, I don't know, it was just kind of a mess. And I was disappointed because here I am, wanting to build a relationship, and I kind of got diverted into a funnel when she didn't even take any time to really get to know me. But what's interesting was I ended up having a phone call with her, and it was on Zoom, so it was video, and it was really interesting because I got to see, once I got her to like stop doing her machinery on me, and I actually was able to really connect with her as a human being and another female business owner, I was able to really see that what she was trying to do. And I gave her a crap ton of value on the call. And at the end of the call, she's like, Terry, I'm so glad we had this conversation. I really appreciate what you offered me. And that was it. I didn't pitch her. I didn't, I just gave her this idea for her business on something that she could do that would actually help her generate more revenue. And it was just something that occurred to me during the call. And that was it. I didn't want anything out of it. Honestly, I mean, I really just kind of wanted to get complete with the interaction with her and really try to understand who she was. But I think it's a great example of how we can take a step back and look at what we're doing to engage with people. Since there's like zero barriers to entry to doing anything online, and the people that find us in all different kinds of ways, we need to be more respectful of that connection, more respectful of the opportunity to have an interaction with someone. And I think when you come from a place where you have that appreciation and respect, you're going to actually get much better results by doing it that way and not making the other person feel like they're being put into a funnel. Listen, this is how the business world works in this online arena. Most people are they're pretty sure that if they opt in for a lead magnet, or if they opt in to watch a webinar, they're going to get a series of emails, or they're going to get a phone call, or they're going to be asked to do something in exchange for that value. And it's not like any big surprise at the end of this thing that people are going to have this experience. So what my prediction is that people that are able to actually step out of that automation, obvious mode, and do something that's authentic and do something that is more in line with their personality, they're going to be much more successful. So what my actionable is for you on this video is to step back, take a look at how you're interacting with new introductions on your social media. Are you immediately pitching? Are you forcing people to sign up to a group? Are you, not forcing, but you know what I mean. Are you doing things that are more to support your automation so you can basically walk away from that opportunity and not really engage with them? Or are you inviting true engagement where you're actually having a real, honest conversation? Does it take more time? Yes. Does it yield more value? Yes, absolutely. So I'm not saying give up on your automation or your systems. Use them where it makes sense. Use them where it's appropriate. But when you're reaching out to somebody and you really want to get to know them, put some time in And make it real and make it authentic, because it will go a lot further if you're really being yourself, showing your vulnerability, and taking time to actually give value and ask questions. So that's my tip for the day. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me at terry@better3.com, or just head on over to Better3 and check it out. And that's if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.